At the time of this recording, it is currently 5 o'clock in the morning where I live, and I have not gotten a wink of sleep yet. Because as my naysayers are tightly tucked away, cozy in their bed asleep, I am awake, doing my job, keeping an eye on the war over there in Iran and Israel, so I can update my subscribers with the truth, because apparently no one else out here is willing to tell the truth about what is actually happening. And when I say no one else, there is a small group of people, as usual, that are willing to stand up and just admit the truth about what is going on. But a lot of people are in denial, and they have been for the last week or so. You might remember that about a week before America attacked Iran, I updated you all. I told you all. I made a video letting you guys know that we were getting ready to attack Iran. People acted as if I was crazy. I had people flipping out in my comment section, calling me a conspiracy theorist, calling me all types of names, simply because I went out of my way to tell them the truth about something that was about to happen before it happened. Well, of course, we know how that ended, but other things happened along the way as well. For example, Trump declared that he was going to give it maybe about 2 weeks as he waited to decide what he was going to do when it came to Iran. He said that within 2 weeks he would make a decision. Meaning, at any time, I guess he could make a decision, but he said, about 2 weeks. Now, I immediately reported to my audience because that's what my job is. My job is to report the truth. It's not to report what you want to hear that makes you feel better. I reported to you guys that, hey, I know Trump is out here saying 2 weeks on the news, but he's not being truthful. He's bluffing. And I'm not saying that to say, oh, Trump is a huge liar. He lied to all of you all. What I'm saying is when he said, I'm going to give it about 2 weeks, he wasn't being truthful because the plan was already set in motion. The plan was already formulated. And I already knew that. And I reported to you guys, the attacks are coming. It's already planned. The 2 week stuff is kind of some BS that he's just putting out there. People flipped their wig. They accused me of being a traitor. You're trading on Trump. Oh my God, you hate America. Why don't you move to Iran? All of this weird stuff. People are acting literally insane over the past week. They cannot handle me just reporting the facts that are happening on the ground over there. I don't know what's going on. I've never experienced, and it's a lot of my own people who watch my videos, I've never experienced like this type of a situation. Well, I guess we did experience it during COVID when people were kind of like all under this like mass psychosis, brainwashing type stuff. That's what this reminds me of because people are in complete denial of the actual facts that are playing out in front of us. But, people acted as if I was crazy and I was attacking Trump when all I was doing was telling my audience what was going to happen before it happened. Well, we now know how that ended up. I was right, but for some reason, a lot of people are mad at me about it. It's weird, but anyways, of course, today they announced this ceasefire. It's a monumental, historical ceasefire in record time. Literally hours after bombs were being launched at our bases over in the Middle East, Trump works out this deal. Now, obviously, I want the deal to work. I wanted the deal to work. And you'll understand why I said wanted in just a moment. I wanted the deal to work. But I know about the Middle East. Ceasefire deals get worked out every day. They never last. They never work. The problem is, right now, You have a lot of people who have not paid attention to what's going on in the Middle East at all. They don't pay attention to wars at all. And now they've inserted themselves as if they know anything about what's going on over there. And that's why so many people are being misled right now. I know that, talking about the war in the Middle East and Ukraine is not the main stuff that I talk about on this channel, but I'm actually more passionate about stuff like this as opposed to true crime and stuff like that. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I'm also no spring chicken that just came here and started talking about this 2 days ago. I pay very close attention. So everyone started cheering on this ceasefire. They tried to rub it in my face like I was wrong about everything because a ceasefire deal got worked out, even though I'm the one that's been, hoping for peace this entire time. But all of these people who I thought were like, no new wars, we need to stop spending all of this money on foreign wars, all of a sudden they're all for sending billions of dollars to Israel. They're okay with spending billions of dollars to bomb Iran. They're okay with new wars. They don't give a shit anymore about anything. I don't know what's going on with these people. But sorry, it's late, but I literally do not know what's happening with a lot of these people right now. But anyways, everyone made a big deal out of this ceasefire agreement because they know very little about the Middle East and the conflicts in the Middle East. Anyone who hyped up the ceasefire agreement for you all, I'm not trying to be mean, but you cannot take them seriously when it comes to the conflict that's happening right now between Iran and Israel. Because if you know anything about the Middle East, you know that ceasefires mean diddly squat. Iran has broken many ceasefire deals in the past. I believe Israel has broken over 900 ceasefire deals. I guess you all forgot. This is what's crazy. This is how I know. A lot of people act like, oh, we're so pro-Trump, but you don't even follow what is going on with Trump. Trump worked out a ceasefire agreement with Israel and Hamas and stuff, previously, and that did not last long. It did not work. So everyone thinking that this ceasefire deal was like solid, it was going to last forever because Trump said it would. Listen, I'm sorry, that's just not the case. And you can get mad at me, but it's the truth because right now, as we speak, Iran is bombing Israel. They just launched a missile at Israel. And unfortunately, folks, I wanted the ceasefire agreement to work way more than most of you all did because you all are pro-war, you're pro-regime change, you're ready to go send our kids to die for Israel. I'm not. So I am extremely disappointed that the ceasefire deal didn't work. But I already told you guys that it wouldn't work in the last video, and a bunch of people unsubscribed and got mad. But here I am, right, once again, because I actually know what I'm talking about, despite my naysayers thinking otherwise. So the ceasefire deal, already dead and done. Missiles are in the sky. Israel has now confirmed that they're going to strike back. It is getting ugly. Also, really quickly, can I just give a huge shout out to everyone who is following me over there on X. I am doing live minute-by-minute updates about this conflict over on X. If you've been over there, you have seen how crazy tonight has been. Okay, listen, in the final minutes headed to this ceasefire that already has been broken, in the final minutes leading up to the ceasefire, there were 6 waves of ballistic missiles launched. And as these big fake MAGA, they call them MAGA nowadays, it's Make Israel Great Again over America. I don't know how this happened, but it all happened within the span of a week. All of a sudden, America isn't put first anymore. All of a sudden, you're fake MAGA if you don't put Israel first. It's so weird. I will never, ever stop talking about how weird this week was and how everyone all of a sudden just turned and started acting crazy. But anyways, let me not go off on another rant. But as these big influencers were telling you guys that the ceasefire deal is on, everything is okay, 6 waves of ballistic missiles were getting fired at Israel. I believe right now it's been confirmed that at least 3 people have died. More are missing under rubble. I'm sure that number may climb. And as I've stated, that was right before the ceasefire, literally leading up to the last seconds. And even after the official ceasefire time came around, Iran launched off one final barrage of missiles, right? After the time that Donald Trump stated. And then a few minutes later, I guess Trump tried to give them a few minutes of leeway. Trump came out and said, hey, the ceasefire deal is officially on. Please don't break it. Within minutes, missiles were flying again, and Israel was vowing to destroy Tehran. In fact, here is what the Israeli defense minister had to say. He says that he has instructed the IDF to respond forcefully to Iran's missile launch. He says that the retaliation response will include intense strikes on regime targets in the heart of Tehran. So, war is back on. It's in full swing. The greatest ceasefire deal ever created lasted, if you want me to be technical, it lasted 2 minutes. Because Iran fired off after the designated time, but then I guess they stretched the time out a few more minutes for people to send their last missiles off. But yeah, the ceasefire deal has been bunker busted. It's over before it even began. And there's going to be a lot of people waking up in the morning upset. And they're going to be upset not because, oh, the ceasefire deal is over and now people are going to die. No, they're going to be upset because they were proven wrong. And that's really sad. Because real human lives are at stake here. And I'm not just talking about the lives in Israel and Iran. Our troops' lives are at stake. There's a lot at stake here. And the fact that you all have downplayed this entire time for the past week, you act like, oh my God, Iran has nuclear weapons, it's so serious, yet you act like none of this is serious. People went from saying, oh, this is not a war, to, oh, the war is already over. No one out there is really being that consistent. And I'm doing my best to just try to tell you guys the truth, no matter how many people stab me in my back along the way. But for now, ceasefire deal over. Kiss that goodbye. More drama tomorrow. You all can be upset, but that's the truth. Let me know your thoughts below while you're down there. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Try not to get triggered. And I'll talk to you all tomorrow when things are probably going to be even worse.